So a lot of people like to change the front headlight to a number board just because it makes things easier when you're competing to be able to put your number on. But the problem with a Beta is you've got the rectifier all attached to the back of it, which obviously you can't not have on the bike. So we're going to show you what we do to get over that. So the first thing you're going to have to do is obviously unbolt the headlight. And when you turn it around, you're going to see that the rectifier is held in with two self-tappers, which you're going to have to remove. Then the rectifier should just pull off. Two plugs you're going to have to unplug. One is the light switch and the other is the rectifier. Next up, you're going to have to get your number board, and you need to mark the center of the number board and then draw a line just so you've got a mark so you know where you're working from. Then after that, you need to measure 50mm down from the top of the board. This board we're using has got a bit of a cutout at the top, so we've just used that ruler just to get the correct measurement that we need. Then from that mark, you need to do another mark 60mm down from there. And those are the marks we're going to use for our drill holes to be able to bolt the rectifier onto the back of the number board. You're going to need a 5mm drill bit. After that, we're using countersunk bolts, so we're just going to countersink the board just so we get it nice and flush against the front face of the board. You're going to need two 5x16mm bolts. We're using countersunk. You're going to need one P-clip, and you're going to need two 5mm washers, one slightly larger than the other. Now we're going to bolt the rectifier onto the back of the board. You need to make sure that the wires are sticking out to the right hand side like shown here. Now you don't have to do this up really tight, so just be careful because you don't want to damage that rectifier. Now we're going to use that P-clip to be able to attach the rectifier plug nice and snug against the top of the rectifier, just so it's keeping it nice and tight and keeping it all out of the way and stop it from rattling around. You've got to cut the excess off of the cable tie, just make sure you don't cut any other wires whilst you're doing that. So back to the bike, plug the rectifier in. Just going to make sure everything seems like it's fitting in place. Just going to tidy up some of the other cables and wires going around for the bike. Also just going to use a couple more cable ties just to keep everything nice and snug against the back of the number board, because you don't want anything rubbing against the headstock of the frame from the bike. So once it's all on there, just make sure nothing's rubbing and everything's moving freely. Now the reason we used countersunk bolts is we're going to put a decal over the front of the board just so it looks a bit smarter, and then it's hiding those bolt holes as well, so it'll just make things look a lot smarter. It's just a lot neater without the bolt holes showing. Fits in nicely behind there. Good job.